Okay, today we are going to discuss about JEE main paper, JEE mains. JEE mains that is shift 2 paper, September 3. See that first question here. What is the dimensions of solar constant? So solar constant is equal to solar energy received per unit area per unit time. Okay. So here energy dimension formula ml square t power minus 2 divided by L square. This is time t. Now L square gets cancelled. M L power 0 t power minus 3. So the units of solar constant is ml power 0 t power minus 3. Now let us discuss another question. Second question. A block of mass 1.9 kg is at rest at the edge of the table of height 1 meter. A bullet of mass 0.1 kg collides with the block and strikes to it. If the velocity of the bullet is 20 meter per second in horizontal direction, just before the collision, then the kinetic energy just before the combined system strikes the floor. Here take G is equal to 10 meter per second square. Now, so this is a table. At the edge of the table, there is a block of mass 1.9 kg. And this is a bullet which is coming from 20 meter per second, coming with whose mass is 0.1 kg. Whenever this bullet strikes this block, both combined system moves and reaches the floor. So they ask what is the kinetic energy when just before the combined system reaches the floor. So this is a perfect inelastic collision, so that momentum is conserved. And this block is at a height 1 meter. First, we want to find out what is the combined velocity of the system. Use the law of conservation of linear momentum. Initial momentum of the bullet just before touch the block is mv, that means 0.1 into 20 is equal to, when bullet strikes the block and it is stick to the block and both are moving with combined velocity, that means total mass 0.1 plus 1.9, mass of the bullet plus mass of the block into combined velocity. So 2 is equal to 2v. V is equal to 1 meter per second. This is the velocity of combined system. Now we want to find out what is the kinetic energy of this combined system just before touches the floor. For that we use work energy theorem. Work done by gravitational force is equal to change in kinetic energy. Work done by gravitational force, that is equal to, initially the system is at a height 1 meter. So small m plus capital M into G into H is equal to change in kinetic energy, final kinetic energy K minus initial kinetic energy, small m plus capital M into V square. Small m is nothing but 0.1 plus capital M is nothing but 1.9 into value of G. value of g is 10, which is at a height 1 meter, is equal to k minus of 0.1 plus 1.9. V square is nothing but 1. 20 is equal to k minus of 2 into 1. 2 cancel. So k is equal to 20 plus 1, that is equal to 21 joules. This is the kinetic energy of the combined system just before touching the floor. So let us discuss the third question. A loop of area S meter square and n turns carrying a current I is placed in a uniform magnetic field B with its plane parallel to B ball. If torque tau is experienced by loop due to magnetic field, find the magnitude of magnetic field. So this is a loop. So this plane of this loop is parallel to magnetic field. Definitely the area vector is perpendicular to the plane. This is the area vector. Always perpendicular to the plane, the area vector direction. If tau is the torque experienced by loop due to the magnetic field, that means we know that formula torque is equal to m bar cross b bar. So torque is equal to mb sin theta. Right. Torque experienced by loop. Torque is equal to here. M means what? NIA. B theta value is nothing but 90 degrees. Area vector and magnetic field. The angle between area vector and magnetic field is 90 degrees. So torque is equal to here NISB. Now the magnitude of magnetic field is equal to tau by NIS. So this is the first option. So now let us discuss another question. A spherical mirror forms image at a distance 10 centimeters of an object which is at a distance 30 centimeters from the mirror. Okay. If object start moving with velocity 9 centimeter per second, find the velocity of image. So here where the spherical mirror forms image at a distance 10 centimeter. At a distance 10 centimeter. So that is equal to here V is equal to 10 centimeters. V is equal to how much? 10 centimeter. Right. Object is at a distance how much? U is equal to 30 centimeters. U is equal to 30 centimeters. If object starts moving with velocity, how much? V0 is equal to 9 centimeter per second. Then velocity of image is question mark. So we know that here for spherical mirror, any kind of spherical mirror, 1 by f is equal to 1 by v plus 1 by u. Differentiate above equation with respect to t. So that what happens here, minus 1 by v square into dv by dt minus 1 by u square into du by dt, that is equal to 0. Focal length is constant. Minus 1 by v square into, here this is velocity of the image, that is equal to 1 by u square into 1 by u square into velocity of the object. Right, here velocity of the image is equal to minus v square by u square into v naught. Minus v square, that means minus 10 into 10 divided by u square 30 into 30 into velocity of the object 9, 0 0 0 0 cancel, that is equal to, we get 1 centimeter per second. What we get here? 1 centimeter per second. So now discuss a problem in electromagnetic waves. Electric field of an electromagnetic wave is given as E bar is equal to E naught cos omega t minus kx into j. Electric field equation. The equation of a corresponding magnetic field at t is equal 0 should be. We want to find out B bar is equal to what at a t is equal to 0. Right. We know that formula E naught is equal to C into B naught. So B naught is equal to here C by E naught. Sorry, B naught is equal to E naught by C. E naught by C. So here B naught is equal to E naught by C means what? 1 by square root of mu naught epsilon naught. So the value of speed of light is in medium of permeability mu naught, permittivity epsilon naught is this much. So here B naught is equal to E naught square root of mu naught epsilon naught. This is the value of B naught. Here observe, what is the direction of electric field? E naught cos omega t minus kx into j. That means this electric field direction is along y direction, and the wave is propagating along positive x direction. Why? Here the equation is given as E naught cos omega t minus kx. We know that E bar cross B bar is parallel to C bar. Okay. That means here, what is the direction of E bar? J cap cross. We don't know direction of B bar. That is equal to here. What is the direction of C bar? In which direction wave is propagating? Positive x direction. Positive x direction. That means high cap. Clearly, we can say the direction of B bar is k cap along k direction. J cross k is equal to I. So our answer is B naught is equal to E naught. B naught. Here B bar is equal to B naught. What is the value of B naught here? B naught is equal to E naught square root of mu naught epsilon naught cos, here put t value 0, cos kx into, what is the direction of B bar here? K cap. So our answer is first option. Okay. B bar is equal to E naught square root of mu naught epsilon naught cos kx to k cap. This question asked from electromagnetic waves. So now let us discuss another problem here. Constant power P is supplied to a particle having a mass m and initially at rest, choose which of the following is correct. Here, constant power is constant. This constant power is applied to a particle. That particle is initially at rest. That is equal U is equal to 0. Now we are going to choose which option is correct. Graph. So power constant. Power is nothing but what? Power is equal to rate of doing work. So here work is equal to power into time. So work done is equal to change in kinetic energy of a particle. Okay. Change in kinetic energy means final kinetic energy of mv square minus initial kinetic energy. The particle is at rest. So constant power is applied on a particle which is at rest, 0. So P into T is equal to half mv square. So from this relation we write that T directly proportional to V square. Okay. Here power is constant, 2 is constant, mass is constant. That means here V directly proportional to root T. V means what? Velocity of a particle, that is rate of change in displacement, ds by dt directly proportional to T. So ds is equal to root T into dt. Now integrating above equation, here integration of ds is equal to integration of root T dt. So s is equal to here, we get t to the power of 3 by 2. That means s is directly proportional to t to the power of 3 by 2. So from following graphs, we select option C. This is the correct relationship between displacement and time for the condition we obtain. S proportional to t to the power of 3 by 2. So this is the correct option. So here next we are going to discuss another question. A PN junction becomes active as photons of wavelength lambda is equal to 400 nanometers falls on it. Find the energy band gap. So this is this question is asked on photodiode. So here this is PN junction and this is energy gap. Okay. What type of wavelength is falls on this PN junction? Lambda is equal to 400 nanometer. Lambda is equal to 400 nanometer. Find the energy gap. Find the energy gap on this PN junction. This is a very easy question. So here we know that formula E is equal to hc by lambda. hc by lambda. So E is equal to hc means 12,400 electron volt. Whenever we use this formula, lambda should be in angstroms. That means here lambda given 400 nanometers. That should be converted into angstroms, 4,000 angstroms. 4,000 angstroms. 0 cancel. So by simplification we get here 3.09 electron volt. Okay, this question, next question. This question asked from on the base of a moment of inertia. In the diagram, 3 point masses m each are fixed at the corners of equilateral triangle. Moment of inertia of a system about y-axis is n by 20 ma square. What is the value of n is? This is basic question asked on the formula of moment of inertia. So this is equilateral triangle. This is equilateral triangle of a side length A. Okay, now we want to find out what here moment of inertia of this system about y-axis. About y-axis. Right. Moment of inertia of a system about y-axis. This whole system is rotate about y-axis. Okay. Now I is equal to here. This is a mass m and this mass m and this mass is m. These masses are placed at the vertices of the equilateral triangle. Now we want to find out the coordinates. The coordinate of this mass is located at the origin, so we write 0, 0, and the coordinate of this mass is a, 0, and the coordinate of this mass is a by 2, comma a by 2, a by 2, comma a by 2. Right. Now moment of inertia of the system, small m into this mass is located at the origin, so 0 square. Moment of inertia formula, do you know moment of inertia formula? mr square. R is the distance of mass from the axis, and this mass is at a distance a from the axis, m into a square, plus this mass m into, it is at a distance of a by 2 from the axis, a by 2 whole square. So I is equal to what we get here, ma square plus ma square by 4. So I is equal to here 5 by 4 ma square, 5 by 4 ma square. Here according to problem, the moment of inertia about y-axis is they given n by 20 ma square is equal to 5 by 4 ma square. Now we want to find out what the value of L. Right. Here n by 20, here n by 20. Now n is equal to 20 into 5 by 4. That is equal to what we get, 25. So our answer is option A, 25. 25. Okay, now let us discuss another question. This question asked from wave optics. Two light rays having same wavelength lambda in vacuum are in phase initially. Then the first ray travels a path L1 through a medium of refractive index N1, while the second ray travels a path of length L2 through a medium of refractive index N2. The two waves are then combined to produce interference, the phase difference between two waves. Right. Now the distance travel by light, the distance travel by light in a medium of refractive index mu in a time t, is velocity into time, that is t, d is vt. Equation 1. Okay, now where v is the velocity of medium. Now the distance travel by light in a vacuum in a same time, distance travel by light in a vacuum in a same time, in a same time. That is equal to c into t. C into t. C is nothing but what? In vacuum, the light travels with the velocity of light. So here c into, from first equation t is equal, what we write here? Okay, c into t. From first equation we write t is equal to d by v. D by b. We know that c by v into d here. C by v means what? Absolute refractive index, that is mu into d. This distance is called optical path. This distance what we call optical path. Okay, mu into d is called optical path. Right, here in this problem, optical path for the first ray. Optical path for the first ray. These are the two light rays. This is the medium of refractive index n1, and this is the medium of refractive index n2. These two light rays are passing through these mediums coming out. Okay, optical path for the first ray is nothing but what here? That is equal to refractive index of medium n1 and path length L1. Path length L1. Now, optical path of second ray. That is equal to what? Refractive index of second medium n2 into optical path length. Path length L2. What they ask here? Phase difference. Right. We know that phase difference delta phi is equal to 2 pi by lambda into path difference. That is optical path difference. Optical path difference is equal to how much here? Optical path difference. That is equal to the difference in distance traveled by two light waves in two mediums. N1 L1 minus N1 L1 minus N2 L2. So our option is delta phi is equal to 2 pi by lambda into N1 capital L1 minus N2 capital L2. So this question asked from the wave optics on the basis of optical path. Okay, next question. Let us see next problem. There are given 2 point sources having same power of 200 watts. So these are the 2 point sources. Okay, they have same power and they are emitting photons of wavelength lambda 1 is equal to 500 nanometer and lambda 2 is equal to 5 nanometer, and other emitting X-rays of photons lambda 2 is equal to 1 nanometer. Find the ratio of photon density from both sources. Here what is meant by photon density? Photon density is nothing but what? Number of photons emitted per unit area per unit time from the source. Okay, that number of photons, that is nothing but photon density. Here power is same, photon density is the same. Photon density is different, but power is same. Power constant. Right. Now we want to find out photon density, ratio of the photon density. If the power is same, number of photons per second coming from sources are different. So here power of the first source is equal power of the second source. So power is nothing but what? Energy by time. So energy given by time. If first source emits n1 number of photons, n1 e1 by t, that is equal to n2 e2 by t. Power is equal to, right? That means these photons are emitted per second, so that we cancel time. Now we want to find out so n1 into here TAT cancel, hc by lambda 1 is equal to n2 into hc by lambda 2. hc cancel. Photon density ratio n1 by n2, photon density ratio n1 by n2 is equal to what we get here, n1 by n2 is equal to lambda 1 by lambda 2. Lambda 1 by lambda 2, that is equal to here lambda 1, that is equal to 500 nanometer, divided by lambda 2, that is equal to 1 nanometer. So here we get 500. So our correct option is option B. Photon density ratio is 500. Now we are going to discuss another problem which is asked from electrostatics. So in given figure there are two concentric shells. Find the potential difference between these spheres. This is a confused question generally, so we have to take care about that question. These are the two concentric spheres. That means both have a common center. Inner sphere has a charge q1, outer sphere has a charge q2. Outer sphere radius is 4r, inner sphere radius is r. Now we want to find out what is the potential difference between these two spheres. So now first we calculate potential at inner sphere. On the inner sphere is equal to what is the formula here? Potential at on the inner sphere is nothing but due to charge q1 and due to charge q2. Neighboring charge is q2. So we write here k q1 by the distance of charge from the center of the sphere, that is r, plus due to surrounding sphere. Due to surrounding sphere is nothing but k charge on the outer sphere is q2 by distance of the charge from the center, that is 4r. 4r. Now the potential on outer sphere. Potential on outer sphere. So that is potential due to inner sphere plus potential due to the charge q2. Potential due to a charge q1, potential due to a charge q2. That is, we want to find out this potential at outer sphere. K q1 by 4r plus, that means here we have to take one precaution. The distance is always taken from the center of the sphere, and k q2 divided by 4r. Okay, So from the center to the surface of the sphere, potential is always constant. Now potential difference between these two spheres, V in minus V out, is equal to K Q1 by R plus K Q2 by 4R minus K Q1 by 4R minus K Q2 by 4R. This cancel. That is equal to K Q1 by R minus K Q1 by 4R. Okay. Here 4R take LCM. 4K Q1 minus K Q1. That is equal to 3K Q1 divided by 4R. 3K Q1 by 4R. So here what is meant by K here? K is nothing but 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q1 divided by 4R. So the difference is 3 Q1 divided by 3 Q1 divided by, here what we write here, 4 into 4 16 pi epsilon naught R. This is the potential difference between inner sphere and outer sphere. So our option is option D. So here another problem is asked on the inclined plane. Let us see that problem. A block starts going up a rough inclined plane with a speed v0 as shown in figure. After some time it reaches to the starting point again with a speed v0 by 2. So find the coefficient of friction mu, and they gave g value is 10 meter per second square. So here this is a rough inclined plane, angle of inclination is 30. A block starts at point A and going up with a velocity v0 and reaches to top point B, and after some time it again reaches with the bottom of the inclined plane with a velocity v0 by 2. That means due to friction there is a loss of energy. Now we want to find out what is the coefficient of friction. What is the coefficient of friction? So this problem is a lengthy calculation problem, which can be medium level problem, which can be solved by work energy theorem. Work energy theorem. Here notice that from A to B and B to A, slope length is constant. Slope length is constant. Let us assume this slope length is as S. Right. When block moves up, let us solve this problem by assuming two cases. Right. When block moves up, what are the forces are acting on the block? Here mg sin theta acting along this direction, and since the block is moving up, frictional force is acting opposite to the direction of motion of a block. So here work done is equal to change in kinetic energy according to work energy theorem. Work done by, here there are two forces, work done by gravitational force plus work done by frictional force is equal to change in kinetic energy. Final kinetic energy is 0 minus initial kinetic energy, let us assume as K. Work done by gravitational force. So here what type of force it is? Gravitational force component is mg sin theta. Mg sin theta into let us assume this one as S, this work done is negative. Why? Because force and displacement are opposite direction. Work done by frictional force, that is also a negative. That is opposite to the direction of motion of a block. Minus mu mg cos theta into mu mg cos theta into s is equal to minus of m into v naught square. Minus of m into v naught square. Then this is the first case when block moves up. Right. Now second case. Second case when block moves down. When block moves down. Moves down. Here also the gravitational force is acting downward and the frictional force is acting upward. So here mg sin theta into s, this work is positive, minus frictional force work is always negative, minus mu mg cos theta into s is equal to change in kinetic energy, that is equal to of m into v naught square by 4 minus initial kinetic energy is 0. This is equation 2. This is equation 1. Right. Here take the common, dividing equation 1 with 2. Okay, and take the common. Here mgs, here also mgs. Take the common, they are cancel each other, so that we get here minus sin theta minus mu cos theta is divided by mu cos theta divided by here also sin theta minus mu cos theta is equal to here minus half m into v naught square divided by half m into v naught square by 4, that is equal minus 4. So what is the value of theta here? Theta is 30. Substitute that value. Minus 1 by 2 minus mu into root 3 cos 30, root 3 by 2 divided by 1 by 2 minus mu into root 3 by 2 is equal to here minus 4. Right. Doing cross multiplication. Minus 1 by 2 minus 1 by 2 minus mu into root 3 by 2 is equal to minus 4 into 1 by 2 minus mu into root 3 by 2. So minus 1 by 2 minus mu into root 3 by 2 is equal to minus 2, minus into minus plus 2 new root 3. 2 new root 3. Right. Here take LCM. Take LCM on this left hand side. 2 minus 1 minus mu root 3 is equal to minus 2 plus 2 new root 3. Right. Minus 1 minus mu root 3 is equal to minus 4 plus 4 mu root 3. So bring this minus 4 to this side. 4 minus 1 is equal to mu root 3 plus 4 mu root 3. So 3 is equal to what we get here, 5 mu root 3. So mu is equal to here 3 divided by 5 root 3. 3 divided by 5 root 3. By doing the calculation, we get here mu has 0.35. So here 3 divided by 5 into root 3 means what? 1.732. So here 3 by 5 into 1.7, that means this is nearly equal to 8.5. So by doing that calculation, we get nearly values mu is 0.35. This is lengthy calculation problem. So our option is option B. Okay, now let us discuss another problem here. In given diagram, resistance of voltmeter is 10 kilo ohms. Find the reading of voltmeter. This is 10 kilo ohms. Okay. Now what is the reading of voltmeter? We know that a voltmeter has a high resistance. Now here in this diagram, let us assume that voltmeter reading is V, so that here the voltage also V. Here the potential drop across 800 ohm is V dash. So total voltage is equal to how much? 6 volts is equal to V plus V dash. Okay. In series, potential across resistor divides. The total potential 6 is equal to V plus V dash. Right. Here the total current is nothing but here I. This I is splits as I1 and I2. This is I2 and this is I1, and this is nothing but what? I1 plus I2, that is equal to I, comes out as I. Now let us solve this problem. So 6 is equal to, here the potential is nothing but V plus V dash. V dash, the potential voltage potential drop across 800 ohms. V dash, Ohm's law, I into R, I1 plus I2 into R. Okay. 6 is equal to V plus, what is I1 here? I1 is equal to V by R. So V by R 400 plus I2 is equal to what here? Again V by R. V by voltage same 10,000 into R is equal to 800. So here V by 400, 6 is equal to V plus multiply with 800. 800 V divided by 400 plus 800 V divided by 10,000. 10,000. Now 6 is equal to V plus here 2V plus here what we get here? 0 0 cancel. 4 2s are 25, 4 2s are 8, 4 25 is 100, 2 by 25 into V. Now 6 is equal to here V plus, take the LCM as 25, that is equal to here 50V plus 2V. Okay. 6 is equal to what we get here? 6 is equal to here, taking the LCM 25, 25V plus 52V. 52V. 25 into 6, that is equal to how much here? 150 is equal to 77V. V is equal to how much here? 150 divided by 77. Here 71 7s are 77. We get here 77 into 150. 77. So next here 77 means 23 93. 77 nines. Okay, so finally we get what is our answer? 1.95 volts. Option C is correct. 1.95 volts. 1.95 volts. So this is the problem asked from current electricity. So now let us discuss another problem here. A square wire loop of side 30 centimeters and wire cross section having diameter 4 millimeter is placed perpendicular to a magnetic field changing at the rate of 0.2 Tesla per second. Find final induced current in the wire loop is. The resistivity of the material they gave here. Resistivity of the material that is 1.23 into the power of minus 8 ohm meter. Ohm meter. Right here. Let us solve this problem. So what they given here, a square. This is a square. This is a square. Okay. The given, this is a square. Okay, please wait. I adjust the brightness. Okay. So what is the length of this square? 30 centimeters. 30 centimeters. Side length 30 centimeters. And this square is made with wires. So what is the diameter of the wire here? Diameter of wire is equal to 4 millimeters. That means radius is equal to 2 millimeters. So R is equal to 2 into 10 to the power of minus 3 meter. So when we know that a basic point, when a loop is placed in a magnetic field, definitely there is induced EMF developed in the loop, and also due to that induced EMF, induced current is also developed. Right. Now we want to find out that induced current. This is a lengthy calculation problem. This question calculation wise, this is tough category problem. So here rate of change of magnetic field dV by dt is equal to 0.2 Tesla per second. We know that induced EMF. We know that what induced EMF is equal to d phi by dt. So d of dt, phi means what? BA. Phi means BA. Okay. Generally phi is nothing but BA cos theta is equal to 0. Phi is equal to BA. Right. Now E is equal to A into dB by dt. Here A is nothing but what? Area of the loop. Area of the loop. So A is equal to area of square loop. Square loop. So area is equal to side square 30 centimeter into 30 centimeter. That is equal to 900 centimeter square. So A is equal to 900 into 10 to the power of minus 4 meter square. Now substitute this value. E is equal to 900 into 10 to the power of minus 4 into dB by dt. dB by dt is nothing but what? 0.2. 0.2. That is equal to 9 into 10 to the power of minus 2, 2 into 10 to the power of minus 1. Right. That is equal to 18 into 10 to the power of minus 3 volts. This is induced EMF developed in the loop. Now what is the induced current in the loop? So here we know that I is equal to E by R. So here what is R? R is resistance of the wire, that is equal to rho L by A. Okay, so R equal to Rho means how much they given? 1.23 into 10 to the power of minus 8 into L. L is my total length of the wire. Total length of the wire is side length is 30 centimeters. 4 into 30. So 4 into 30 means 120 centimeters. That can be converted into meters. 1.2 divided by here. Don't get confused. Area of the wire. Area of cross section of the wire. Area of cross section of the wire. This is wire. This is the cross section of the wire. That is pi r square. So r equal to 1.23 into 10 to the power of minus 8 into 1.2 divided by here pi means 3.14 into r square. Already we calculate r. Here 2 into 10 to the power of minus 3. 2 into 10 to the power of minus 3. 2 into 10 to the power of minus 3 whole square. So whenever we calculate this r value, already I did in rough notes, we get r is equal to we get 0.1175 into 10 to the power of minus 2 ohms. Now substitute this value in this equation. Now I is equal to, what is the value of E here? 18 into 10 to the power of minus 3 by R. 0.1175 into 10 to the power of minus 2. Right. So here I is equal to, by doing this lengthy calculation, we get here 153 into 10 to the power of minus 1. So I is equal to, we get here nearly 15 amperes. I is equal to, we get here 15 amperes. So here our correct option is 15 amperes. What is the value of I here? I is equal to 15 amperes. This is the tough problem, heavy lengthy calculation problem. So now let us discuss another problem. This is asked from kinetic theory of gases. Very easy problem, basic question. An ideal gas is heated by, please correct that number, that is not 106, that is 160 joules. 160 joules at constant pressure. Its temperature raises by 50 degrees centigrade. And if 240 joules of heat is applied at constant volume, temperature rises by 100 degrees centigrade. Then its degrees of freedom should be. Very easy question. So here ideal gas is heated in two ways. At a constant pressure. At constant pressure. We know that formula dq is equal to, we know that NCP dt. Let us assume this ideal gas is 1 mole of ideal gas. Here dq they given 160 joules. Okay. And dt is up to heated temperature rises 50 degrees centigrade. Right. Now 160 is equal to here Cp into how much here? N into Cp into dt is nothing but 50. Equation 1. For example, they take 1 mole n moles of gas. Right. Now same ideal gas is heated at a constant volume. So at constant volume, that means dq at constant volume. Here dq at constant pressure is equal to NCV dt. So how much amount of heat is given? That is 240 is equal to N into Cv into how much temperature is increases? 100. Equation 2. Right. Okay, calculation doing 1 dividing equation 1 with 2. 160 divided by 240 is equal to n cancel, Cp by Cv into 50 by 100. Okay, here 4 4s are 4 6, 2 2s are 2 3s, 2 by 3 is equal to here Cp by Cv, that is gamma, that is from kinetic theory of gases. This gamma is Cp by Cv is written as 1 plus 2 by f, ratio of specific heats. In terms of degrees of freedom, direct there is a derivation in board examination also, 51 by 2 here. So here 1 plus 2 by f is equal to 4 by 3. Right. 2 by f is equal to 4 by 3 minus 1. 2 by f is equal to here LCM 1 by 3. F is equal to how much here? 6 degrees of freedom. This is number of degrees of freedom. So our option is C. Okay, now let us discuss another question. A mass m is moving in SHM on a line with amplitude A and frequency f. Suddenly, half of the mass comes to rest just at the moment when it crosses the main position. The new amplitude becomes lambda A. Then lambda will be how much? Here this is a mass m. Okay, and this mass m oscillates to and fro. Whenever this mass m reaches to main position, this is main position, half of the mass comes to rest. Half of the mass comes to rest. That means remaining half of the mass is dissipated due to the internal mechanism, due to the internal force. That means there is no external force is acting. Due to the internal force, remaining half of the mass is dissipated, and it moves with velocity v dash at mean position. Definitely, whenever the mass is decreases, the amplitude is increases. Okay, the amplitude is becomes how much? Lambda A. Lambda A. Right. What is the lambda value? Right. Here we apply in this problem law of conservation of linear momentum. Why? Because there is no external force is acting. This mass is disappeared due to internal force. Okay, and half of the mass comes to rest. Remaining mass is moving with velocity v dash at mean position. Right. Now, according to law of conservation of linear momentum. Law of conservation of linear momentum. Okay, initial momentum at a main position is equal to how much here? V. M into V. Final momentum at main position m by 2 into V dash. Okay, right. Here we know that at main position particle velocity is maximum, that is equal to A into omega. M by 2 into V dash means here A dash into omega. Okay, right. Now m A omega is equal to m by 2 into A dash. We know that omega is equal to, in terms of mass, K by m. K by m means m by 2. Here mm cancel. Okay, mm gets cancel. Right. Now, okay, now A into omega is nothing but square root of K by m is equal to A dash by 2. This is root 2 into square root of K by m. Okay, K by m cancel. Okay, a dash is equal to a dash is equal to a by root 2a by root 2. So a dash is equal to root 2a. So here lambda value is nothing but root 2. So what is our correct option? C. Option C is correct. Option C is correct.